Hey everybody, welcome to the first vlog, video cast thing that we're doing for WKAZZ. I'm RC, Rick, and this was going to be a rant channel to go along with my gaming channel, and so I'm just going to jump right into it. Today I was driving to work, and I downloaded Jim Cornette's podcast, The Experience. Went to look, and there was no drive-through this week, and I was like, fuck, what, really? I'm paying the premium. And there's no freaking, whatever. Maybe somebody got sick. So I listened to Jim, and I'm listening to him saying that Alice isn't going to be on the podcast anymore. I'm like, whoa, fuck. Okay, she quit. And about a week or so, about last week, Jim did a podcast, and they had a guy from Australia who was a Muslim and was tearing Jim a new asshole about his views on Muslims and blah, blah, blah. And Alice got kind of, you could tell there was a little tension there. And speaking about Jim, I don't know if you can see this. My glasses came. Thank you, Jim. I'm waiting for the other ones, but thank you. Oh, that's good. And anyway, so she decided to quit. Well, that's fucked up. Okay, but, to each her own. So I say, well, I'll check on Twitter and see what she's doing. Twitter account's gone. Well, shit. Facebook page is gone. Well, that's fucked up. Her RWR podcasts are gone. So well, that's fucked up. So later on, I got a thing on iTunes, and it was a RWR thing there, because I was trying to listen to her RWR show, but okay, whatever. And she had an audio there that basically was titled "I Quit," about 7 minutes long. Fuck, okay, let me listen to this. And we're going to play it, and we're going to stop it and pause it and comment on different parts of it. But I listened to it, and I was like, holy fuck, really? So, without further ado, here's Alice Shradley. She posted this publicly, so I can't believe there's any copyright to this, because she posted it freely to iTunes for anybody to download. So I'm pretty sure that becomes fair use. We're only going to be snipping and stuff like that. So, but we're going to play the entire thing and see where it goes. So here we go. This is Alice Shradley. We're going to be pausing and commenting. So here she is.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Alice Radley.
No shit.
This isn't RWR or anything like that. I mean, that's how you'll be hearing this. That's the feed that this will come up on.
Glad to hear.
But no, this isn't a show. This is sort of an explanation. I quit.
Goodbye.
I'm done. No more podcasting for me. I'm sure that'll actually bring a lot of people quite a bit of happiness. And I know it'll upset some others, and that's fine.
Okay, let's pause right there. I quit, and I know this will make people happy, and then some people will be sad. Well, okay. That's kind of a defeatist attitude. Make people happy? Well, okay. Well, why would that be? Well, let's listen further and see how she really feels.
No more. It's not fun. I'm either dealing with closet racists, people who are... just mendacious.
Now, could you find a bigger word to use there? Mendacious. Okay. This is the problem. I'm not going to get into liberal, conservative, north, south, east, west. Background on me, I'm from the Pacific Northwest. I'm from the Cascades. Spent most of my childhood in the woods chopping down trees and hiking in the woods and hunting. But I'm not a crazy conservative either, okay? So I don't want to get into my political... Well, we'll get my political views probably on another one, because I'm psychotic. But anyway, can you sit there and you just have to... What, did you look at a thesaurus and go, mendacious? That sounds like a word I want to throw in there, because I'm a educated liberal person. Okay. What the fuck ever. And closet racist. Well, now, are you implying that Jim's a closet racist? Star Maker Bolin? Hey, Kenny. That he's a racist? Who's the racist? And because someone disagreed with you on your views about Muslims, they're a racist all of a sudden. And let's not confuse two things here. You have Muslims, who the majority of them follow Islam. Okay? So if you're pissed off at the religion, which I think probably Jim most spoke, and I think he clarified that in the podcast today, where he's pissed off at the religion, not the people. Okay? Muslims are generally Islamists. So you're pissed off at the damn religion. But okay. Religion and race are two different things. Let's keep that clear. But let's continue on with Miss Radley and see if she got any more words of her thesaurus.
Just infighting and talking behind one another's backs, and I'm trying to fix shit with people, and it's fucking impossible. And I don't need this. I don't get paid for this. I don't get paid for anything.
Okay, stop right there. You had excuse me. You were on what, 3 or 4 podcasts on MLW radio, and MLW does charge for their VIP service, and you had, I believe, at least 2 shows on the VIP service. But you don't get paid for any of this. So you didn't get paid for producing any of Jim's shows? Really? If you were just doing this for the fuck of it? So that means one of 2 things. Either MLW radio screwed you out of your money, at which point you need to sue them and get their money, but we haven't heard anything from Court Bauer. We don't know if this is true or not. But if that's the case, fuck it, sue them. Get your money back. Excuse me again. But if you did it for free, then what the fuck were you doing? You did how many shows a week for this place, for this web service? Plus your own RWR podcast malarkey? And now you're saying, well, I didn't get paid for any of this? I find that really hard to fucking believe. I find that really hard to believe that you're doing this for over a year for Jim's show. 2 shows a week. You're producing, editing, getting guests lined up. I don't know if you're getting the guests lined up. I don't know how that dynamic worked. I don't want to, throw my foot in there. But really, you didn't get paid. I'm throwing the bullshit flag, okay? There it is. There's a bullshit flag. I don't buy it. I think either you were getting compensated somehow. I mean, they flew you down for the NWA Fan Fest thing. Did you do that out of did you pay for your hotel for yourself and everything else, or was that MLW paying for this because they did a live Jim Cornette experience there? What the fuck? Okay, let's continue. But to point that bill out, remember, didn't get paid for any of this. Okay.
And so, if anybody was looking for a reason, that's why. It's all a bunch of bullshit.
I believe that.
It's not even that fucking entertaining.
Well, hang on. Let's stop for a second here. You did 1 million downloads of the Jim Cornette experience and the drive-thru. I don't know if that's combined or one or the other in the past year. How that compares to the other shows, I don't know. I don't see any matrices. I should probably lay off this for a little bit. Anyway, but it's not very entertaining. Well, okay, hang on. You're the producer. If it's not entertaining, who the fuck's to blame for not being entertaining? You're the one producing it. And Jim Cornette is pretty well famous, and people line up in fucking England, for Christ's sake, to see this motherfucker, okay? And let's go over some of the guests you guys have fucking had, okay? Kevin Sullivan, Lance Storm, Rip Rogers was hysterical as all hell. I was dying when he was on there. Anything with Star Maker or Bolin. And I wish that being up where I was in the Pacific Northwest, I could have seen more of the wrestling of Memphis there. We didn't have it. And I grew up on what I could get on TBS and also Portland wrestling. So I didn't know anything about Kenny Starmaker Bowl until I heard Cornette mention him. And I was like, who the hell is this guy? And he's funny as hell. Him and Cornette on the damn podcast you die laughing. They're just, and I guess they're lifelong friends. They've known each other for 120 years, for Christ's sake. So, very entertaining? No, it was very entertaining. But let's keep on going. Let's see how far she buries herself.
I did as well as I could for a while. Why? It was fun to have a hobby, but fuck, I can pick up a cross.
Okay, producing a podcast and being on podcasts and doing all that, that's not a hobby. I mean, when you fuck around, what I'm doing now is kind of a hobby. I have a full-time job, okay? And I have a gaming channel that I play video games on and record and talk about the video games and review some video games. And I do some unboxing for different services. Loot Crate, well, not different, just Loot Crate. Super Geekbox right now. Loot Crate sucks. That's a hobby. You're doing 3 or 4 or 5 fucking goddamn radio shows a week. And you're obviously, I'm sorry, I'm still going with the bullshit flag about you not getting paid. When you get paid for something, it no longer becomes a hobby. It becomes a job. Okay? Fuck. Let's continue.
I can knit, I can read. There's a million other things.
I'm glad to hear she can read.
Not worth the stress. Not worth the fucking ugly trolls that I have to deal with online who call me fucking awful names.
Okay. Internet trolls are everywhere, sweet cheeks. Okay, you know what you do? You ignore them. Okay? You just fucking ignore them, grow some thick skin, and move on. Okay? The internet is nothing but a troll farm. Okay, I'm sure there's going to be people who are going to see this video and they're going to comment, look at his hair, why the fuck is he wearing headphones, what the fuck's with the background of his office, and I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to read them. Okay? I'm going to move on. Okay, here we go again.
For no reason other than the fact that I exist as a human being.
They're trolls. What the fuck do you expect?
It's just not worth it. The social media world, not fucking worth it. I've met a few nice people.
Okay, the social media world, you just now found out this was fucking full of trolls? Really? Have you been under a fucking rock for 20 years? Okay, here we go. Now listen to the friendly acquaintances she all of a sudden had. Oh, well, okay, here we go.
But, and I'm grateful for the few nice people I've met and have developed acquaintanceships and friendships with, but Jesus fucking Christ, a lot of the listeners are assholes. Whether it was on Jim's show, where it was a bunch of fucking rednecks.
Okay, let's stop right there. Jim Cornette, who is known as the Louisville Slugger, who is famous for Southern wrestling, and you're surprised that his fan base are Southern rednecks. I'm just going to take a second. Let that sink in. I'll wait. Are you done? Yeah, okay. Really? Are you fucking stupid? Sorry. No, fuck it. Yeah, are you fucking stupid? The fan base is Southern rednecks. Duh. Okay, let's move on.
I mean, there was the occasional intelligent, well-read person, but Jesus Christ. Also, is there any fucking possibility that any of you could talk about anything that isn't wrestling for like 5 minutes of your goddamn lives?
Oh, wait a second. Oh my God. I'm a person who's on social media who does podcasts about wrestling shows. And my original podcast, RWR, was a review of Monday Night Raw with Lance Storm and some other guy. I think she mentions the other guy in here. He's supposed to be the smartest guy in the world or something. Okay, whatever. But by the way, you took down his... He doesn't do podcasts anymore now because you took away his podcast. So what the fuck? You slit his throat. Good going, lady. So you're pissed off that the people who listen to wrestling podcasts only want to talk about wrestling. Have you thought maybe about doing a podcast about cross-stitching? And that way you get people who would talk about cross-stitching? You have a fan base? I mean, I'm sorry, I can't understand why you would complain that your fan base who listens to a wrestling fucking podcast only wants to talk about wrestling. And they don't want to talk about... And I've seen your Twitter things, pictures of food and shit. That's nice, okay, great. You're having some steak thing with blue cheese melted over it with roasted tomatoes and spears of whatever the fuck they were. Yay, that's your Twitter feed. But you put out your Twitter feed on a goddamn wrestling podcast and then get pissed off that people want to talk to you about wrestling. Here's a great idea. Sit there and don't give out your freaking goddamn your Twitter account. Have a Twitter account just for the show, and they can all talk to you there. And then you have another Twitter account so you can talk about NPR kind of things, okay? Does that make sense? Really? Okay, let's continue. We're not even halfway through this one, guys. Holy shit. Here we go. But it gets deeper.
So help me. Going to Twitter non-stop. Wrestling. It's like you have nothing going on in your life beyond wrestling.
I just covered that. Yeah.
What the fuck?
What the fuck were you thinking?
It's not that great. I have to force myself to watch. Well, now I don't, but I did. It's absolutely fucking insane.
Okay, and she also was talking about how she was watching all the old NWA stuff. NWA stuff, sorry. A little while ago, because it's now on the WWF network, so you can have all the old NWA stuff and Global and everything else. So you have all these classic wrestling issues. Oh, I was really excited about watching this, and oh, Barry Windham, and oh, I was watching this match, and can you explain this one to me? Yada, yada. So wait a second. You don't like it, but you sit there and you make comments about it on the damn show and have asked Jim questions. Can you explain this angle? What's going on here? I seen this. What's going on with that over there? How's this over here? How was this guy to work with? What was this angle? Yada, yada, yada. So either you were lying to Jim, you weren't interested, which, okay, I can give that, or you're lying now, or you're just bitter as fuck. And I'm getting bitter as fuck off of this. Holy fuck. This is a bitter fucking person, guys. But let's continue.
I know I sound angry right now.
No shit.
I think it's just that I didn't allow myself to get angry for 3 years. And now I'm letting myself get mad about it as my explanation.
Okay.
Yeah, it was cool to be able to do some shows where I didn't have to talk about bullshit wrestling that I don't even fucking care about.
Okay.
Because that ship sailed a long time ago.
So she was doing... Okay, so she was doing shows about bullshit wrestling that she didn't care about. And then she just recently got onto another show with MVP and Alex Greenfield, I think his name was. And then that was another 2 shows, because they had one on the Open MLW, where you could get for free, and then they also had a VIP one. So there's another 2 damn shows about wrestling that she doesn't care about. If you don't care about them, why the fuck you get on the show? Why'd you produce them? Because, by the way, you said earlier you weren't getting paid for this. So why did you get on another 2 other wrestling shows that you weren't getting paid for and you didn't like it? Makes no fucking sense.
The only solace I had was doing my own show, RWR, which nobody fucking listened to.
Okay, hold on. Stop right there. You probably don't want to sit there and claim that no one listened to your own show. Okay? That means one of 2 things. Either your show was crap, or this... No, I'm sorry, it's only one thing. That your show was crap.
The one thing that I actually cared about, the thing where I was trying to share and to help and to educate and enlighten, and with Lamar, who is pretty much the smartest human being I know. And none of you...
Okay. She was trying to enlighten, and what the fuck? Really? Let's remember that RWR was a podcast that reviewed Monday Night Raw, that all of a sudden she stopped reviewing Monday Night Raw and started turning it into a feel good about yourself or a radio or a podcast thing. Really? Okay, let's keep on going. Crazy.
Motherfuckers. You know, if you're listening to this for the first time because you wanted to hear the explanation, none of you motherfuckers were listening. So, fuck you.
Well, that's a good way to get your fan base going. None of you motherfuckers were listening, except for the motherfuckers who are listening right now, so fuck you, motherfuckers. Thank you, fuck you, goodbye.
You guys, when I stopped talking about wrestling, I lost 1,500 listeners.
No shit. You had a podcast that was about wrestling. You got wrestling fans to listen to your review of Raw, and you changed format and lost 1,500 people and got upset. That is the same logic as you have a classic rock station that has got several 10,000 listeners in a area or region. People are listening to this because they play all the old classic rock, Leonard Skinner and all that, and then they change to rap, to hip-hop, and all of a sudden they lose 15,000 people because 15,000 people sit there and go, I don't like rap. Why the fuck would I listen to this? Okay, goodbye. You changed your fucking format and they got pissed off because people who came to your show for the specific format left. Duh. Moving forward.
Thanks so much.
You're welcome.
It means a lot.
I'm glad.
And let's be honest, when I was talking about wrestling, I wasn't even very good at it. So I don't know why the fuck you were listening.
Again, probably not a good idea to point out the fact that you sucked at something and then get pissy because people didn't listen. Okay, more Alice.
And MLW, Jesus fucking Christ. What a clusterfuck. Yeah, I used to work with them.
Really?
Or I guess when I started working with them, not too terribly long after the beginning, Conan decided he hated me for no fucking reason.
Okay, hang on a second. So now we're going to trash our employer. Well, I'm not sure it's employer because she wasn't getting paid, remember? So if she wasn't getting paid, how could she work for him? Wouldn't that be volunteering? Okay. And maybe Conan knew something we didn't know. I don't know Conan. Never met the man. Listened to his podcast once or twice. Wasn't that entertained by it, but nothing. That's personal opinion. Nothing against Conan. But, listening to him and Disco Inferno and stuff like that, really, just not my cup of tea. But, really? Here we're going to go blasting your ex-employer. Okay, let's continue.
I didn't do anything to him. Yeah, I quit. I did. And all of a sudden, it was just nonstop, constant fucking hate from a grown man.
Okay.
A bipolar, grown-ass man who can't stop himself but get high constantly and make up reasons to hate people. It made my life a goddamn misery.
Okay, hang on. So now you're blasting hate back on. You're a grown-ass woman, and you're hating on Conan. I'm just pointing that out.
I had people sending me death threats when I was in the hospital. Not death threats, excuse me. Just people who wished I would die while I was laying in a fucking hospital.
Now that is fucked up, guys.
And all I did was try to be nice. And then I stayed, and I worked with Jim because he asked me.
Okay.
Okay? I stayed because he asked me, and I did it for a while. And for a while it was fun, but then you get to know somebody. And all of the shit starts to come out of them that is not fucking cool or comfortable. But I kept the peace.
Okay. So right there, she just buries Jim. Okay? With this, crap about stuff coming out of him and burying him. Okay, so what are we saying about Jim here, Alice? Really? Now, I want to point out something. Jim today on his podcast, and I don't know if he's heard this or if he's gonna react to this or not. On his podcast, he was gracious about her leaving. He didn't say anything bad about her leaving. He didn't bury her. He didn't do anything. He did a baby face, to use a wrestling term, guys. He did the baby face. Everything is fine. She disagreed with me. I apologize for what I said, but I wanted to let her know that, yes, I didn't mean that these people were fucked up, but if it upset her, I'm sorry. That wasn't the intention, etc., etc. He was gracious. And then here she is being bitter as fuck. Okay, we got more.
Because, hey, I kind of like people knowing who I am. Not worth it. It was not fucking worth it to have people know who I was. After all, what was the reward? What was the reward in having people know who I was?
Well, obviously the reward wasn't you weren't getting paid because you've already made that clear, but let's keep going.
A bunch of abuse and bullshit. Yeah, there was the occasional nice person.
And abuse from who? I mean, was Jim abusing you? Really? I find that hard to believe that Stacy would put up with that shit, but okay.
To the nice folks that are listening, I am sorry. I just can't pretend like I was having any fun, especially in the last, year. I was, the couple times I was asked to do something kind of like public facing or whatever, I just found an excuse. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to do it. It wasn't any fun.
Okay. So as far as I know, and people will correct me if I'm wrong, she's done, to my knowledge, 2 public appearances in conjunction with the, maybe just one, because the experience down in the NWA Fan Fest, and I think that was it. I think she just went to something else. Somebody invited her to show up because she was associated with Jim Cornette. So the rest of the time, and hey, I'm not gonna. Well, actually, I am gonna bury her. The rest of the time, she found excuses to not do it, which meant that she lied over and over again to whoever about this. Oh, I'm sick. My toe hurts. Got a headache. Got a hangnail. Okay. Why didn't you just come out and say, you know what? I'm not comfortable making public appearances. I'm not, quote unquote, being paid for this shit. So therefore, I don't want to make the public appearances. I don't want to go and do this shit. Okay. Thank you. Fuck you. Goodbye. Leave me alone. I'm a private person. I want to stay just my voice because I do have a good radio voice. She does have a good voice for radio. As Jim would say, she has a face for radio too. We'll pop that up right here. Face for radio. But here she is being bitter. Okay. And lying, apparently.
I tried to make the most recent effort work with Alex and MVP, and MVP is a wonderful guy who it's impossible to say anything unkind about. And Alex, who is a nice guy, who again is impossible to say anything unkind about.
Except for the fact that he's going around saying some hellacious shit about Cornette. So, okay, so, again, she sure sounds like she's burying Jim to me here, okay, guys? This sounds like, she's dug the hole, she's thrown Jim in, and she's whacked him on the back of the head with a shovel and just slowly throwing dirt on him, okay? But, okay.
This is not their fault. And they will find another producer, and their show will be great, and that's awesome. But not for me. Not
and
anymore.
Nothing about the experience
so
of the drive-thru.
You'll get the show, and that's going to be it. Twitter account's going to be gone. The Facebook account's going to be gone. My website's going to be gone. The email address that you guys know is public-facing is going to be gone. I'm going back to my life. I'm going back to being an entirely private citizen. And that's it. Goodbye, folks.
Thank you, fuck you, goodbye. Wow. What to say to that? You heard that, my comments over it. In conclusion, boy, does she bury Jim. I don't know the background, but as far as I know, her deal was coming in and working with Jim for the past year or better, a year and a half, 2 years, whatever their show run was, doing 2 shows, showing up. They seem to have great chemistry. But wow, did she just bury the fuck out of Jim on this one? I don't know what else to say. I'm a big fan of Jim Cornette, of his podcast, of his wrestling work. I think when he has Starmaker Bolin on there, they are just fucking hysterical. He's got some new guy on there who's, I guess, filling in as a as a host or co-host and producing MSL. I have no idea what the fuck that stands for. Please find somebody else. No offense to MSL. I don't know you. I have no idea anything about you. But there's just no chemistry there. I mean, bring in Bolin. Okay, at least with Bolin and Cornette, there's a chemistry. There's some fire going on there. MSL just seems to be too much of a, oh, gee, yes, and, oh, okay, and, so I'm just not grokking that one. Anyhow, well, that's the end of the first one. This channel was going to be about me ranting and posting stuff that's just off the top of my head that's not gaming related, and some stuff, maybe I will get some gaming related stuff in there. But this will be the first posting on YouTube, and thanks for watching. Leave comments below, hit the like button. I'm going to try and get stuff out every week, 2 or 3 times a week probably. Some of the stuff's going to be shot from my phone while I'm out and about when something hits me and I just got to, oh my God, I got to rant. And other times it's just going to be here with the microphone, my camera, and going from there. So thank you, and hope you enjoyed it. Catch y'all later on.